Welcome to the Traders Show. This show is brought to you by Pepperstone.
So yeah guys, looking at the markets, this is the dollar index. What am I looking for on the dollar? Just as a rough overview before we get into the other pairs, I still look for a dollar to continue correcting. However, I'm expecting a bit of a correction from where we are. Market has been moving down quite substantially. If you look at the daily chart, last week was more or less a bearish week, okay? So markets broke below this key level at the 103.5, around the 103. Markets broke below it and continued moving much lower, maintaining below the $102 mark, okay? So that's what I've been paying attention to on the 4-hour. I remember last week talking about seeing market at least to pull back to this level over here at the 104, 103.5 level, and that's what I'm still looking for this week. I want to see earlier on this week if market can pull back at least to the $103 mark, 102.5, 103, before any significant move is seen in the market. So that's what I'll be paying attention to. As we say, today's a bank holiday, so maybe not, there might be momentum in the markets, okay? Sometimes, as I said, sometimes there's a bank holiday, but you see the markets moving quite heavily. Sometimes there's a bank holiday and markets are a bit low until tomorrow, especially when you have these big holidays like Christmas, which are more or less worldwide, okay? It's when normally you can see that market is sort of stagnating, then the market moves the next day. But on such days, because it's only a US holiday, UK don't have a holiday, Europe don't have a holiday, you might still see the market moving, okay? So I'll be waiting to see that, see how market fares on today, to see if we can move back up to the 105. With that said, looking at the pairs that I normally trade, let's first look at the pairs that I've been having some trades running. I started with gold. If you've been following my analysis for the past 2 weeks, I've been seeing gold, looking for gold longs. I think this was ever since when we got our long 16th May, and we are more or less coming, today's 30th, so about 14 days. There's about 2 weeks in that trade, okay? Still looking for market to continue to the further upside. If you look here, let me 1 second. If you look here it is, we still have it running, okay? For those people who hadn't caught it earlier on, how did we get this trade? I was looking for a retest of this line, so you can see how we got this ABC correction. We got a 3 push. If you look at the 1 day, we got a trend line bounce. Here we go, we got a trend line bounce, as well as a rejection of the 1785, 1790 level, okay? More or less the $1,800 mark, okay? Right now, what am I watching to see if market can maintain above the 1850 level, where it is right now? Let me remove this visibility on the daily. So I'm looking to see if we can maintain above the 1850, which can be a good signal for market to continue to the upside. However, I remember saying this and saying it a lot. If you see a correction moving down, I'll be looking at the 1830, 1825 level, which can give us even more better entries to go to the long side, okay? So if a correction comes in, the better. From where we are, it's better for me to give us more entries, and then I'll watch the markets from then on to see how market will fare up, continue moving to the upside. But that's what I have here. As you can see, that's what is currently running. I don't see anything that is preventing me to continue going up. You're seeing at the 4-hour here, we're sort of having this counter trend line, which I'm seeing if market can break above, okay? So I'm still watching it. You can see this is a first touch, second touch, third touch. Market can continue to the downside, so that's what I'm also paying attention to. But this can also offer a good correction, then a buy to the upside, okay? So that's what I'm watching on gold. If you look at Dow Jones, you can see market is already up 0.5% on a US holiday. So that's what I was saying. Sometimes you'll always see market just moving, even if it's a US holiday or not. If you look at the daily chart, remember, we've been looking for this market to buy here. I remember we had 2 trades running on this one, or personally I had 2 trades, which I shared publicly with you guys. I was looking for market to reject this level, where we got a very good buy. Market went up, came back below, hit our stop loss. We got another entry, okay? Not fighting with the markets, but following the price action. Market was still within this structure that we're seeing here. Got another entry, and now we're still long on that trade, okay? So if you go down, so the daily chart, what was I looking at? I was looking at the 32,500 being broken, okay? And that's what we got. So we got a good breakout. Market has maintained above it and just continuing to rally. So normally what you want to normally see when market breaks a certain key level, you want to see a breakout and a follow through, and that's what we're getting over here, a successful follow through, a breakout and a follow through. What did we get here previously? A breakout and a failed follow through. Market closed back below that resistance and support level, okay? So right now we got that follow through, and market is now heading sort of to the $34,000 mark. So I want to see how market will come and reject that level. I won't be surprised if market strongly rallies to that level, gets a bit of correction within this region, okay, within this full region, just like we got over here. You can see this breakout, correction to 34,000, then market moved down, okay. So I won't be surprised if we get a similar. We also got it here. You can see we got a breakout to the downside, retested 34, came down, then retested 34 again, then went down, okay. So I won't be surprised to see here a retest of this level. Market moves back down here, dangles quite a bit within this region and continues moving up. If you look at the 4-hour trade and the 4-hour chart that we have and the trade that we have running, here it is, we have it running here. We have this trade running, got a good entry around this level. Shared this a couple of last week. Once we got that entry, remember we got stopped out in this week. Market strongly moved down, wicked us out, then we got a good entry last week once market closed above the $31,500 mark. So that's what I'm still watching. Here we still have it running. A good amount, good profits that are still running. So that's what I'm watching. As I said, I'll be looking for the 34,000 being hit around this level. If I extend this, this is now on the 4-hour chart, okay. So you can see it was a support level, it was a resistance, we broke it, became support, now we broke it, it became resistance. You can see we got this first touch, second touch, third touch, we're coming back for the fourth touch. So I want to see how market will respect it, and I won't be surprised to see a correction coming through. So that's what I'm watching on this one. Hopefully a correction comes through so that we can get better entries, okay. So if market continues moving down and then comes back down to this level, I won't be surprised and start coming out of my trade that I have running. I'm still confident in it, so I'll just wait for a correction to see how market will perform. It's all about reading price action, not trying to foretell or forecast what price action is going to form, okay. So that's what I have on Dow Jones. Very good trade running. So those are the two trades I have running, this one and that one, okay. So those are the two things I have running. When we come to Aussie dollar, I've also been expecting some correction. If you go to the daily chart, what do we have here? So you can see daily chart, we broke above the $0.700 mark. Remember, on the 1-week chart, I've been long on this pair ever since last week. Follow our analysis, you'll see that I've been analyzing this for quite some time. If you follow our Wednesday analysis and also the journal that I keep posting on our groups, we can see we broke above the 0.700 level. As long as we maintain above it, I'll be looking for further longs, and that's what we got here. You can see it was a support, broke, became resistance, we broke above, became support, and now it's also acting as a support as we've broken back above it. If you look at the 1-day chart, so more or less a top-down analysis, okay. I was expecting market at least to break out, come and retest this level. I'm still in favor of that movement. I'm still looking at the 4-hour chart to see if we can get a correction to the downside, okay. So what am I watching now? I'm watching to see if market can get a move to the 1.72225 level, 0.72225 level, 2225 level, then we get a bit of a correction, maybe back to this resistance, okay, or if you can get a deep pullback back to the $0.700 mark. So that's the level I'm looking to see if market can correct before we get a further move to the upside. So that's what I'll be watching this week. I was expecting it last week. Once market rejected this here, I was waiting for market to come to that level, didn't successfully get to that level, formed a flag formation and moved further to the upside. So I'm still paying attention to this. I'll still be watching it during the week. No trade running, but more or less I'm not seeing that strong momentum that can give me that support that market will break this level with momentum. Because you're seeing here we got a touch here, false breakout, market quickly fell back below. The same thing I've been talking about, the failed follow through. This was a classic example of that. Breakout, failed follow through, market moved back down. Very good shorting signal. Now I want to see how market will come and reject it yet again. Already I'm getting those signals that market might not immediately break it. We might retest that level and move down because of these candlesticks that are forming. There's not much momentum coming, but anything can happen in the market, so I'm still open for anything happening, but I see a correction coming on this one. So same thing I'm watching on USD CAD as well. Market has been moving down quite substantially. Been looking for these shorts to continue moving to the downside. I now have sort of a trend line that I'm watching to the downside. We had this counter trend line which was broken, so if I do away with it, make this trend line a black one. So this is what I'm watching on the 4-hour chart. Still expecting market to move further down, but with corrections along the way, I won't be surprised. That's what I'll be watching on this one, but I don't have a really good, fantastic analysis on this like I have on the rest, so allow me to make it a pass for now, because as I said, I don't do When I don't have a good analysis, I'll pass it, but when I have a really good analysis, I'll do a good breakdown on it. So that's basically what I'm watching. If I look at the other pairs, just roughly, this is Euro USD. I expect a bit of a correction to come down to the 1.064 level. Okay, I saw some analysts looking at this pair. They were saying the euro and dollar are at almost same parity. Okay, meaning 1:1. Okay, of course this market continued falling. The dollar was almost being at par with the euro. Okay, meaning that the dollars may gained quite some strength against the euro. But now what do we have? I'm expecting a bit of a correction. Market has been moving up. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. I expect market at least to correct back to this level. Let me highlight it. More or less this level. You can see it was a previous resistance. I'm looking for market to come back to that support level. Okay, this is 1.0650, around that level. Okay, that's the key level that I'll be watching earlier on this week to see if you can get that correction. Very good trade, can offer a very good risk reward. Where you're seeing right now where market is also a resistance level. Okay, so let me highlight it. You're seeing this level here, previous resistance, and now that's where market has gone to today. Okay, and we can expect market, of course, it's a very good correction, more or less like what I'm looking for on the Aussie dollar, just that Aussie dollar hasn't reached that level yet. But this is a very, very good pattern that's forming here, a very good corrective pattern that can take market to the 1.0650 level. I don't trade Euro USD, so as much as I have that pattern, I won't trade it. It's more or less disciplined. It's not the fact that I can't spot a trade, so I won't trade that one, but it's more or less, if you're trading that, this can be a good thing to watch, not even really taking a trade, but for the people who are long from down here, this can be a very good corrective pattern to watch for, which can help you get maybe better long positions on the downside. GBP USD, more or less the same thing. Okay, sort of market, most of these markets on the dollar pairs at that basically resistance level. You can see this was a resistance level that pushed market to a new low, and that's where market has gone back to. Okay, sort of getting that 3 push formation, and now I'm expecting market at least to correct on this one back to the support level. Here where you can see here, this is my first target that I'll be waiting on. This one I won't really push it down to this level, but also this lower level can offer a good support. Okay, so that's what I'll be watching, and then we'll see how market will fare out from that one. So if you're trading pound, I'm also looking for a bit of a correction to come in before further longs are seen in the market. So that's basically it. Nothing much apart from that. I think that's where I'll end it today. I think it's quite a good analysis to prepare us for the week. We already know what fundamentals are coming out this week, and we've now done a technical analysis to prepare us technically for positions and what to look for the week. Okay, so yeah guys, that's pretty much it. That's the analysis we've been looking at for today, for the week. Quite prepared, just looking at those 2 Dow Jones trades running, the Dow and the gold. Later on in the week we'll be looking for other patterns, other pairs to occur, pattern formations or trade analysis to come through, especially if you get that correction on the Aussie dollar, USD card. Those are the 2 other pairs that I normally trade, so those are the ones I'll be paying much attention to. On Wednesday, as usual, I'll do a recap analysis just to see how our trades are faring out, if we got other trades, and if we have not yet gotten any other trades as well. And also I keep updating this on my journal. If you're in our groups, the links on the description below. If you go to our Discord group, I share the link to my journal, my weekly journal, and always update it as the week goes by on the trades that I'm taking, the patterns that I'm looking at, and the pairs that I'm watching. So make sure to click that. And also, if you want to start your live trading, make sure to start your trading with Paperstone, as they offer very good spreads, and also the smart trader tools that we've been talking about. Later on this week, we'll be having our podcast that we shot last weekend talking about backtesting. So it's also an important episode to watch and prepare for, as it will prepare you to know how to backtest, know what to look for when you're backtesting, and how you can use your backtest to trade in the future. Okay, so apart from that, I think I'll end it there. Today evening, I'm excited to have most of you join me for a live webinar where I'll be talking about how to create a trading plan, a very important and fundamental aspect in trading that many people don't pay attention to, but it is very important and vital arsenal in your trading tool. Okay, to have a proper plan in order to help you achieve the goals that you've set in place. Okay, so I'll be doing that later on today at 7:30 p.m. so please don't miss out, and I'll be doing it live. So we'll be sharing the link. I'll share it also on our on the description below, and I'll be seeing you guys later on in the day. So apart from that, I don't have anything much. I'll see you guys on Wednesday when we continue doing our analysis. So that's it from me. Have a good week. Peace.
Welcome to the Traders Show. This show is brought to you by Pepperstone.